Hi guys, welcome back to CCR. Colton and Craig's ramblings. Also, Eugene is here. Say hi.
Hi.
Special guest.
So,
Special guest.
mm,
Special. uh, you want to just start right off, Colton, or is there anything you want to, anything you want to open with before we get into our hot button topic?
uh, Take this with a grain of salt, I guess.
We are not experts.
the greatest of salts.
Colton, I'll let you open with your opinion on abortion.
It's quite simple. I wouldn't deny people getting it, but I personally wouldn't do it.
All right, I get that. I personally think it's murder.
Eugene.
Eugene?
I think that while it's bad if you do it, and I get why there's a debate, but like that, the choice shouldn't be taken away. Like the choice of it, Like no
Mhm.
party is happy in this situation, but like the choice is just like kind of the main thing that's like it shouldn't be up for grabs.
Mhm.
I think you should get one. One, I feel like, is a fair number. Because it is messed up to be like, okay, no more abortions whatsoever. But I think a limit of one is a good common ground.
Mhm.
Because if you're in a situation where you need to get like an abortion, like let's say hypothetically you're poor, or let's say you're in an abusive household and you know that the baby's going to grow up being abused and upside down or whatever, you might want to get an abortion. And while I personally disagree with that, I can see why you would want to. And I think a fair thing would be two. You're not two. You get one. Like if you make a mistake once, if something happens once, if you're 16, you get pregnant. It's like, oh shit, once. Like that's one thing. But I think any more than that, it's like you're using this like birth control, not like, oh shit, something's gone terribly wrong.
Well, something can't go terribly wrong a lot of times, or even like twice. Like when you're, I don't know, like when you're in the moment, like having intercourse, you're not gonna think to like, I don't know where I'm going with this.
I think that it should put the fear of God into you. Like if you got your one abortion, like I imagine you'd be a little bit more loose before you've had your one government allowed abortion, because it's like, oh, because it's how it seems like a lot of people use it. It's less of like a, oh shit, I really can't afford this, and more of like, whatever.
But if
Mhm.
who's to say you can afford it later?
Huh.
Like, oh, I can't afford this now. Then I go along life and I have to get another one. I still can't afford it, but then you know what I mean?
Like the cost, an abortion's only like six hundred
No,
dollars.
you were saying like,
My biggest problem with it is like I've accepted people are gonna do shit that I don't necessarily agree with, but it's one of those things where it's like it's weird how many women, especially like on social media right now, are like, oh, I've had this many abortions and it's not a big fucking deal, and I shouldn't have to be ashamed of it, or it's not my life is worth more than the kids or whatever. To the point where it's like it's clear that this isn't like a somber, like you had to make a serious decision that would
no, I
alter the
get
rest of
it.
your life.
No, I totally get that, and I have a problem with that too. How it's like they still like it, but at the same time, what on the internet isn't taken so lightly? It's taken as a joke. It's all on the extreme. What you see on social media. Most, I'm not most women, but like usually a normal person wouldn't think like that. or like, you know what I mean? Like you're seeing the extreme. Not everyone thinks the same way or feels the same way about it. And
But
that's with also a lot of other things.
these are niche internet micro celebrities. Like these are pretty popular people.
Yeah.
Niche
And in the same
gaming,
vein that they're not
baby.
niche. What's up?
Nothing. Not. I
What's that?
I understood your reference.
Oh, thank you, Colton. In the same vein as it's both established internet personalities, and then it's also people who are literally not influencers, who are just people sharing their own personal opinion. The middle ground of like people who would say crazy shit for the publicity or whatever, yeah, they're saying it, but this it's such a wide variety of people saying shit like this. You have it's more than just female comedians who are like making jokes about it, which you see. It's more than just like internet people who are like trying to ride the fucking wave right now. I mean, you'll see, especially pro-abortion advocates, be like, "Oh, I've had fucking 9 abortions." It's like you make shitty decisions. Why are you killing so many people because of your shitty decisions? I understand one. I genuinely do. I disagree with it? Yes. Does it change it as murder in my eyes? No. But I understand one. I understand any one fuck up to a certain degree. I understand any one lapse in judgment. But for you to have such a catastrophic thing happen in your life, you have to take a human fucking life. You have to. I'm using that with fucking. You think you have to, but you have to take a human life for the best in order to keep yourself alive or to keep yourself stable or whatever the fuck you reason you do. It should be so serious and such a big fucking deal to you that you don't do it again. You get what I'm saying,
Yeah.
Eugene?
I get you.
You get me, Mr. Colton? What do you think?
I just think it's weird that we're debating this again. Well, not I like I understand like abortion is gonna be this argument is gonna be here for a long fucking time. Like it's gonna be up there with well, actually I'm not gonna say that. Never mind. it's my point is this argument is gonna probably take well we're probably gonna have this argument again later in our lives or hell whatever. And when we die and wherever we go to far far away, there's still gonna people be like, oh son of a bitch, we gonna have to talk about it.
Yeah, it's always gonna be.
Yeah, our kids will be arguing about abortion, and their kids probably too.
Mm. I remember there's this comedian named Lewis Black. I I talked about him, Craig, but you, Eugene, he's a topical comic. He talks about politics and whatnot, but recently he's become more of a comedian than like a topical one. But I remember in like early 2010s, he said this thing where he was like, when this argument first started, you could have been pro-abortion or anti-abortion. And now, 62 years later, you can either be pro-choice or you can be pro-life. And that is what we've done about abortion, the argument.
Mm.
They're like we've made no like we have not decided when life begins in this country. A lot of countries
No,
have, but not us.
one of those very few things I agree with the Arab countries on. But yeah,
Yeah.
and I mean that's kind of like I don't want to say the problem with a democracy. You're welcome.
Well, that's one of the benefits
That's like
about it's the greatest and our weakest strength because like
it,
we just have to talk, 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 and talk and talk and talk about it until our ears bleed.
yeah, nothing's going to be truly settled until it's so outdated it's impractical to talk about.
Hmm.
I understand that the argument will never be over. But I feel like it's also not a good reason to just pretend like it's not there. Or, to be honest with you, Roe v. Wade will probably get reinstated and by some other name, and then it'll probably get struck down again. It'll come back, and it'll be like pretty much everything in this country where there's like the guys with the donkey get the power, and then they do their thing, and then the elephant people. So that yeah, like year to year, there's going to be constant kind of undulation and changes, and like states like California are always going to have abortion, and states like Texas are always going to not have abortion.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be like those, I don't want to call them swing states, but the states that haven't really made up their mind and that are going to change, I don't think are ever really going to truly make up their mind, you know?
Mm-hmm. I guess dipping back into what I said earlier, like we could segue this into when does life begin really?
Oh, what do you think, Eugene?
Like is it
Are
at
you
conception?
abortion state already?
Is that like conception, heartbeat, outside of the body? I don't know. Other.
I feel like once you are able to test positive on a pregnancy test, that's like when it begins to be a creature.
Mhm.
Because like Plan B, I feel like is I feel like if it's so early on, like Plan B would need to be, that would be like I feel like that's fair because like the next fucking day or whatever,
Mhm.
and it hasn't really had time to do very much.
Right.
But by the time you're like 2 or 3 weeks in and you can test positive, it's like that's been a minute.
Well, when you take a Plan B, you wouldn't be pregnant at all.
Really?
Yeah, because um, Plan B stops the ovulation, so it stops the egg from releasing. So it stops the sperm from catching the egg and implanting and being pregnant.
Oh shit.
It's like you should know these things about women's bodies if you're gonna not like abortion.
That's not abortion though.
Yeah, but like the vicinity, the actual like what happens.
You're right. Now I do know that.
Yeah, it's almost like you should have though,
Why?
because you have such a strong opinion on abortion and like when life is created, but you don't really know a lot about women's bodies in the first place.
About how Plan B works, not about.
Plan B, periods, ovulation, all the above.
It doesn't change that a baby's a baby.
Yeah, but it changed like it changes a lot and like knowing where it comes from.
In my opinion, has kind of nothing to do with science. Like science could say otherwise. It's spiritual and philosophical. So I don't want to say that stuff doesn't necessarily matter to my opinion being formed, but it's like none of it really goes against my opinion in such a dramatic way.
Yeah, but if you're leading the conversation to, oh, what do you consider a baby? Then you should know when a baby is created or how it is and like how it actually works in our reproductive system. If that's going to be a point of your argument or like a big reason why you have your viewpoint.
When do you think, like I imagine most of our viewers are
I'm just adding in.
educate
I'm
us
just chiming.
can you educate us on how a woman's body works? Like just like the basics. Give us the cliff notes.
That's not my job.
Okay. What do you think, Colton? When does life begin?
Hmm. Fuck. I suppose. Hmm. First heartbeat.
Mm.
Because like it's just not because like not because I chose that because like it's practical, but it's just like all the other options like doesn't really make sense to me in my mind. Like outside the body, well, it was alive before it, was outside the body, but as also
Yeah.
as but also before the first heartbeat, it doesn't have a brain or a heart. And I feel like
Yeah.
you those are two like very important ingredients to life in general, whether it be a human, animal, insect, whatever.
consciousness.
Is a tree conscious though?
An animal is.
But like, would you consider a fish
Like, we're not
conscious?
trees. Yeah, fishes are.
But like, they can't feel pain.
Is that a tale of consciousness?
But it's like
It
they've no.
consciousness is like decisions and like,
Yeah, well, a
oh,
tree.
I'm gonna swim.
Yeah, like
Like,
a
oh, I'm
tree
gonna.
chooses what direction to. And there's signs that trees can like they can hear water sloshing in the ground and consciously grow towards the water.
Then yes.
And also, like my whole point with like fish is like corn can feel distress.
Then
Like like it releases chemicals and they can tell that it is in pain. It has pain receptors. But something like a fish can't tell until you smash its brain with a rock or whatever. It doesn't really have any greater knowledge about what's going on.
But humans have brains, and it allows them to consciously make conscious decisions.
Mm-hmm.
So until that forms, then they don't have a conscience
I get it.
because they're not human yet.
And what are
Because
they?
that's what makes them human. And
Yep.
so the brain with consciousness makes a human, and then you argue trees and fish. They can have consciousness, but they aren't human and can make like smart decisions like we can. So it would be an animal, but we kill and eat animals every day.
So you would say that you're an animal until you have a brain and then you're a person?
Kind of, but like
I believe that, like, I get what you're saying, and I'm not saying it's invalid. It's probably the more moderate and more reasonable stance to take in mind. But to be honest, I don't. The idea of the slippery slope always worries me. So I would rather just take the safe approach to not allow yourself to slide down the slippery slope, you know?
Colt.
What?
Colt. I was asking him what he.
Oh. What do you think, Colt? Hello?
Hello.
What's up?
Hello. I just don't.
What? You don't have anything to say?
I mean, if I had anything to say, Eugene essentially said what I was thinking.
All right.
I guess the only thing I can, yeah.
Throw it out, Colton.
Well, just like if I'm like I don't know if this is true or not, but like I read an article once where and when you actually like pull like plants like bits like a chunk of plant off of like I don't know say actually you know what how about just this just you reach into the grass and then you just pull like you know several blades of grass. Apparently scientists have confirmed that like that emits like a very subtle very quiet like different frequency sound. It's basically a scream of you know pain. Obviously we humans can't hear it, but apparently it's like it's there. It's just very quiet.
Those poor
So
blades.
Yeah. Like imagine if the pores in your skin were to open up.
Screaming.
Yeah, we're screaming.
Where's that from?
The play we watched together.
Oh,
They said that stupid fucking line like 9 times.
I thought you liked it.
I like the play. That line was dumb.
Oh,
That was an inside joke that only 2 people, like if a billion people watch this, only 2 of them would ever get the inside reference. That's how you know it's a good podcast. The general public, fuck them. But that's actually really cool, Colton.
and
so should we stop children from ripping out grass blades from the ground because
No.
it's murdering grass blades?
No, because the plants, the animals, and the earth are a gift from God for us to use as we see fit, as long as we respect it. And I would say that it's not nice, but I would say like disrespecting grass, like pulling it out when you're a little kid, I wouldn't consider be like disrespectful to the grass, because that's the same thing a cow would do if it was there. So I wouldn't say there's anything unnatural about it. Humans are special, babe.
And granted, I don't know if it's 100% true. Maybe it's just maybe it's just I don't know the sunflower or anything. I can't remember.
Maybe you just made some shit up.
Maybe I
You
just did.
never heard that.
Maybe I just did waste like 5 minutes of everyone's time.
Well, we're a small podcast on a YouTube channel with very little subscribers. I feel like anybody who's watching this isn't like
As of right now, I'm the only one because guess what? I'm the only one who knows it exists.
perfect. You want? We should make an Instagram account for it
I mean,
and a Reddit and a
what?
4chan and a Twitter
And a MySpace.
and what else?
Facebook.
MySpace. We should do MySpace. LinkedIn.
iFunny.
Okay. You remember
Vimeo.
our buddy
Twitch.
BitChute?
Oh yeah.
Honestly, you should post
Telegram.
this shit on BitChute. We would probably make bank on BitChute.
Bitwave. Like we're pulling out all of them.
I, by the way, think we would be the least controversial people on BitChute.
PlayStation Network.
Oh, that would. Fortnite.
Oh, dude, we should just like make an Xbox Live account and just randomly friend people to text them the link. Kick. We buy a phone book to start manually calling people and giving them the URL www.youtube.com/.
Quite the guerrilla marketing campaign.
Honestly, I feel like that would work better than like buying ads.
Or you know what?
Just-
I have the greatest idea. We'll go downtown and just hand out flyers.
Listen to our pod. Once we have like 4 or 5 episodes, I will make flyers and just post them around town. Just like all over the greater Bay Area and Napa Valley. Just like have random ass flyers. Listen to my podcast, please. I'm desperate.
And then just please in very tiny font at the bottom.
That'd be fucking hysterical. Okay, so I'm definitely gonna do that. I would say that I kind of doxed myself, but there's like 12 million people in the Bay Area and Napa Valley combined. It's a kind of a giant. It's not giant, but there's a shit ton of people in places. Isn't that right? Why is that funny?
Shit ton of people in places.
It's like there's almost nothing in the part of the country that Colton and I are from. But here there's like San Francisco, Oakland, Vallejo. Vallejo's cool because E40's from there. There's Six Flags. There's casinos like fucking everywhere.
And there's the itty bitty shitty like port towns that are like not associated with the Bay Area, but is still nearby.
Oh yeah, like San Jose, Daly City,
Yeah.
Chinatown.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Sure. Yeah.
I just Chinatown is its own thing.
Chinatown is its own like city.
Its own principality.
Its own state.
Mhm.
It has a mayor,
They
governor,
get-
senators.
They get 2 senators and 2 congressmen. I think we should bomb Chinatown. And it's not because I don't like Chinatown. It's because the highest flag, and I checked, the highest flown flag in all of Chinatown isn't even the Taiwanese flag. It is the Chinese Communist Party, CCP false China flag.
Aw.
Why would we let you continue to have a neighborhood when you're flying the flag of our enemy?
Tiananmen Square. Tiananmen Square, Tiananmen Square. Winnie the Pooh, Winnie the Pooh. Well, people from China won't be watching our podcast, huh?
I mean, considering
they will
that
not be tuning in.
Okay, to be honest with you, man, I'm so militantly anti-communist that I wouldn't want Chinese viewers. Like I would love to have Taiwanese, Japanese, South Korean, true Korean even, because true Korea is kind of cool. Like not like really, but like a little bit cool.
How so?
I think that true Korea's like whole shit that the Kim family had to do. Oh, that's literally us sometimes. Um, what the Kim family had to do in order to create true Korea in its like modern state, they had to tell everybody, yep, all the lights go out at 9 o'clock sharp. Power just shuts off. Imagine how fucking entrenched you have to have the population in order for people to believe that. And just be like, yep, that's normal. People are starving to death in the streets. Bags of rice show up with American flags. And they're like, oh, we intimidated them into giving us that. And everyone's like, oh, fucking obviously. Like, how epic does your fucking multi generational propaganda have to be in order to convince people of some of this shit?
Have you have you seen the giant ice rink in Pyongyang?
Yeah, I've seen pictures of it.
Like, I just why?
Like, okay, true
Well,
dictatorships like Cuba, like true Korea, like a few other places,
yeah.
always have the coolest, weird shit. Gaddafi fucking built, using all of his oil money, one of the biggest like systems to pump water out of the ground,
Mhm.
so that for the next 100 years, the desert is farmable land out there now. Given,
Hmm.
I think it's kind of fallen into disrepair since he was overthrown.
Mhm.
But while he was in power, he was like, that would be cool. In the 60s, Fidel Castro made like the most extravagant ice cream parlor, and it's in Havana, and it's
Hmm.
just there. And they're like a poor little country with the fucking craziest ice cream machines on the planet, and it's like that's fucking interesting. That's the problem with all these like democracies and like semi dictatorships. It's like they're always like, let's build roads, let's build schools. Man, a school. Let's take all the school
School
money and let's build
schmool.
one really cool thing. Yeah, I got Google. I'll Google it. Let's take all this stupid money we're spending on schools and build one really cool thing. We don't need all this nonsense, all these bunch of little things. Let's get one really fucking cool thing we can brag about.
Like for example, Medicine Hat, a city, I guess you can call it that. It's more of a town. It's a Medicine Hat is a town in southern Canada, like southwestern-ish, center-ish, kinda.
Yeah.
And it's home to the world's largest teepee.
Hell yeah.
Like not only that, but like it has the weird name, Medicine Hat.
I'm a medicine hat nationalist.
Like I bet you've never like gone up to somebody and it was like, "Hey, where do you live, man?" "Oh, I live in Medicine Hat."
MC.
Oh, dude,
Oh,
the MC.
MH.
Oh yeah,
Oh, where
you're
did you
from the
say?
MH. But yeah, that's like a personal thing though that I think would be cool
Mhm.
because like we have like everybody run like, oh, I'll build more roads, I'll build more schools, I'll build more police stations. I want to see a congressman get up and be like, okay, guys, you know the Eiffel Tower?
Mhm.
That's kind of cheap. That's like kind of small. What if we built one twice the size? And was like, what if instead of giving all that money to Israel for literally no reason, we gave everybody a tax cut and we built a second Eiffel Tower? It'd be really cool. You know, we buy U.S. steel, we employ union workers, and we just build one in Nebraska. That guy would have my vote before the fucking reasonable, I want to build schools. Because I want to build schools guy isn't going to do it. You know, politicians are liars. But the guy who has the balls to get up and say, let's fucking do some wacky shit, that's a real man.
Because if he has balls to say that, imagine what balls he has for other things.
Exactly. Think about like his life. Think about I'm sick and tired of like having to listen to like the most boring people ever. Even Rand Paul, even he's like the fucking crazy guy of Senate or whatever, or Congress or wherever he's from. Might be a homeless person they just let in sometimes. I don't know. But even he's like kind of lame. It's like, what if we got somebody cool? Not every
let's
congressman, not every senator needs to be cool,
let's
but one or two.
hold on. In 2024, let's elect. Drum roll, please. Come on, please. Come on. Drum roll. Someone. All right, fine. Fuck you both. We should elect Santa. Just imagine,
Go.
imagine. All the nations of the world are like, "Where's your president, America?" Here he is. It's just some big fat fuck. He's just going ho ho ho.
We elect Santa Claus.
Mm-hmm.
Santa Claus is running against Sarah Palin. That's not a joke. There's a guy from a place called the North Pole in Alaska who changed his name to Santa Claus, and he is running against Sarah Palin. Man.
That's as if Sarah Palin's, not like, I don't know, taking breaks from one-handers and drinking Estrella.
That joke would be hella funny if I knew what those were.
Every time I'm going to bring up Sarah Palin, I'm going to bring up, like, something she does very weirdly. Like, she's playing, like, Farmville on, a 2000s laptop, in some dingy
I could see that.
building.
I could see Sarah Palin pulling out her, like, Gen 1 iPad to play Angry Birds with the volume all the way up. Sarah Palin strikes me as, like, the mobile game with the volume all the way up type of person.
Sarah Palin just
like,
woke up from, from a bathtub in Buffalo.
In Buffalo, New York.
Like I said, every time I'm going to bring her up, I'm going to bring up something wacky about her. That is totally true.
Isn't totally true. Not necessarily a lie, just isn't totally true.
She hangs out with Jimi Hendrix on Mondays. And she throws
That's
raspberries
rude because
at Jimi Hendrix
is way too fucking cool to hang out with Sarah Palin.
You know what?
Who cares that he's dead? Even if, like, let's say he isn't dead. I feel like even dead Jimi Hendrix still wouldn't hang out with Sarah Palin.
Uh-huh.
Like, he was a peace-loving hippie and everything, and I can still acknowledge he was probably one of the coolest people to walk the planet.
We saw his statue in Seattle, remember?
Yeah, I remember. And I remember that Chaz specifically said that the statue was not within their borders.
Were you disappointed?
And I remember thinking, that's weird. I would take it if I had the chance. I'd be like, yeah, the fucking cool statue with a cool guitar man. Have our national anthem for Chaz be Purple Rain or something.
It's Purple Haze.
What did I say? Oh, yeah, Purple Haze. Do you guys want to talk about the
No.
No? You want to? I told you this is what we would be doing.
I was joking.
Okay, good. You want to talk about the fires that like are completely spontaneous and not connected to anything that happened in 4 different major food processing facilities?
Sure. You take the lead on this one because I'm not
All right.
informed.
Also, on the heels of this, Tyson killed 6 million chickens, and environmentalists called it, and I quote, a chicken holocaust.
They're silly.
Okay.
Silly little guys. But, so, Biden was like, he started talking about how there's going to be food shortages, which makes no fucking sense, by the way. Because food is not affected by the supply chain because it grows out of the dirt.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's on the ground and we hire people to go pick it up. And like sometimes God waters it for us.
It like this is already reminding me of in like early 2000, like in 2010 I believe, where like some people were like some people in the government, I can't remember who, but they were like, I know, we'll turn ethanol into food. How? Just how? Like, but
We will
that's a story for another day.
okay, so they're like Biden's talking about all these food shortages that don't really make sense. Like, yeah, there's a fertilizer shortage and like the cost of gas has gone up, which would cause the cost of food to go up, right? That makes sense. That is normal economics. That's not Sleepy Joe being mildly demented.
Mm-hmm.
What doesn't make any sense is he keeps saying, "Oh, food shortage, food shortage. You're not going to have enough food." And
Okay.
now, on the heels of that, four major fucking food processing facilities. By the way, one in every sector of the United States. Two in
Mm-hmm.
California, i.e., the western states. One in the south. One in the northeast.
Mm-hmm.
So one in every major zone of the United States. Like if you were to break us up into three equal groups of food consumption, there you go. Those are the fucking lines. And they were like within a month of each other.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you like look, since those four burned down, like two more did, and then a couple did before that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like weird and suspicious.
Yeah.
I don't know. And it's like, oh, Craig, what does the government stand to gain? And it's like, well, they're going to eventually rebuild them, and then the price of food should go down, but you can put your fucking money that it won't. It's like with gas. The price of a barrel of oil is the same as it was in the Trump administration, but the fucking price is literally double in most places. And it's because when the price goes up, companies don't just like fucking change it. They know people will pay.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's kind of like a price gouging scam where they're gonna like be people like they're gonna fucking buy it because most people are too lazy to garden these days.
Mm-hmm.
Like the average person in a normal house with a normal yard could feed pretty much themselves and their family. Like it was something like if you're willing to eat a lot of potatoes, you can pretty much feed an entire family on a quarter acre,
Mm-hmm.
which you can do pretty easily.
Mm-hmm.
Um, like that's not that like, and that's like assuming you don't even need to go to the grocery. Anyway, that's a sidebar thing because I'm fucking tangential, but it's like I think it's like a price gouging thing. They're gonna like the price is gonna spike, then the cost of making it's gonna go back down, and then they're just not gonna ever lower the price.
That this sounds like the plot to a Bond film. Um,
No, the supervillains are nowhere near as cool as Goldfinger.
that that's the movie I was talking about.
Oh, I was guessing. That's the only Bond villain I know of.
The plot of Goldfinger is it's this guy who owns a bunch of gold and he plans to break into Fort Knox, you know, the gold reserve, and
Make
plant a
finger.
plant a dirty bomb into the gold reserves. So that way it'll be useless for the next 80 years because it's radioactive, and his gold prices will go all the way up, making him the richest man on earth.
What a weird. Why? Why
Because
would you
he'll
do that?
because he'll be filthy fucking rich.
But if you have that much gold, you're already pretty much there.
Yeah, but we wouldn't have a movie.
we wouldn't. We wouldn't have a movie. Okay.
It would have gone from Doctor No, from Russia with Love, and then immediately to Thunderball.
Skyfall was pretty good, I was told.
Mm. Anyway, side tangent over. Price gouging.
But yeah, I I do not trust the government at all. I don't trust either side because I've recently realized that they seem to completely agree on like a few very specific things, all of which are very bad for the U.S. people. It's like, hey, Chuck, why have we been giving all that money to Israel, Mr. Schumer? Greatest ally. What about the USS Liberty, Mr. Schumer? Or sorry, Congressman Schumer? What about that? Why is that? How are you an oppressed group? Why do you own so much stuff? How are you personally, Chuck Schumer, so inconceivably wealthy despite your low wage comparatively? That's suspicious, Chuck. Or the same thing with Nancy Pelosi, the best stock market trader on the fucking planet. Her net worth is almost $1 billion now, by the way. She makes $250K a year. It's like, that's weird. That's suspicious. Hey, Nancy, how are you doing that? How is your intuition that good? How dumb do you think I am? You know?
Mhm. It's just weird
And I
now.
think that all the. Huh?
It's weird nowadays. Like I'm so surprised to see like people who are still like an ardent Democrat or an ardent Republican because like
Yeah.
what do you see?
Like, what are they doing that you like?
So much.
Like, what is. It's like, what the fuck is so. Like, what do you gain from even supporting these people? I think that, like, before, it used to not be as noticeable because they weren't stealing quite as much of our money because they were younger. But now they're all like a fucking thousand, right? Because baby boomers. I hate boomers, by the way. They single handedly locked every other generation out of political office because they're fucking retarded and then are surprised that young people don't give a shit. It's like, yeah, you fucking stopped us from taking the good jobs because you were so busy stroking your fucking wiener at how awesome you are. And now you're surprised that people don't know how to run things. Also, you set a terrible example for how to run things. Well, that's a side thing. But like, they're all 1,000 years old in Congress and Senate, right? They're fucking 8 million.
Mhm.
Nancy Pelosi she could fucking die tomorrow. So who gives a shit? I'm gonna start stealing as much shit as I can because I'm not old enough that they're gonna fucking fire me. They have so much. They've slowly. I don't think this was like a coordinated effort. I think just every individual politician kind of came to this realization recently. They're like, we kind of run everything, and nobody really questions us. And I've been getting elected for the same job for the last 20 years, saying the same shit. These people are fucking stupid. No. So it's like, I think that now they're just getting more and more blatant with their theft of all of our cool shit.
Mhm.
Like, I swear to God, tomorrow if I woke up and they're like, we gave the Statue of Liberty to Israel because of the Holocaust, I'd be like, that sounds exactly like some shit that they would do right now. Or like, if I woke up tomorrow and they're like, yeah, we gave our roads to China because GDP, I'd be like, yep, sounds like some shit Congress would do right now. Like, if they told me right now that we're putting all of the schools private, you have to pay this much money every month just to fucking go to school, and like, I would be like, yeah, it makes sense. If they told me that they were gonna try and privatize air, I would fucking believe it at this point because these fucking money ghouls are like so blatant with their theft and their corruption at this point, where it's like they, they can't get very much lower.
Mhm. It's like they were fucking with us, but they used to keep it hidden.
Yeah, like I don't think like, oh, in the '80s when Reagan was around, when Reagan was around, they were quiet about stealing. When like, I kind of get where they're coming from because boomers grew up in an era where there was two world economies. There was the communists and there was us. And so they could get away with a lot of like, oh, we can deregulate this and we can do that and we can do this because there was nowhere else for big business to go.
Mhm.
So they could do all sorts of shady shit and really not fuck us over too bad. But now, because it's so easy for businesses to go to Mexico, China, Bangladesh, fucking wherever, whatever third world country, they do it now so quick that every time that they give Nancy Pelosi $60 million to vote yes on some stupid fucking bill that'll kill U.S. economy even further, I think she's too old and retarded to realize, like, wow, this is a terrible decision. And they do it because they're fucking stupid. You know?
Yeah.
And so I think it's part of it's like that they're so out of touch that they don't realize that their corruption is so much more noticeable now. And then part of it I think is they've realized that they're old and they're gonna die before we're able to like do anything. Like they wouldn't be doing this if they were still in their 40s and 50s. If Joe Biden was still at like not 1,000, he wouldn't be doing the stupid shit that he is. Nancy Pelosi wouldn't be doing the stupid shit that she is because they're young enough that like the ramifications of their actions could come back to bite them. But I think they've all accepted that they're so old, they're gonna die soon. And it's just gonna be like, yep, we're gonna die with fucking infinity dollars. We're gonna sell you out to Israel and to China and to Ukraine for some fucking reason. And I'm gonna be dead. And you can go fuck yourself. So I think that's a big part of like whenever you hear these really weird coincidences, like Biden being like, yep, the fucking food shortage, and then all these fucking factories explode. It's like, yeah, because they burned them down to price gouges. You know, big business is never the one footing the bill anymore.
Are you still there, Eugene?
I have never seen a young woman look more bored before in my entire life. I can feel her thinking that it was a mistake to do this. I can see it in her eyes as she idly scrolls through Instagram.
Eugene?
Yes.
What's your opinion?
Or you can be the palate cleanser. What do you want to talk about?
Yeah, we're gonna pick your thing. That way, you're not just sitting here silently.
I don't want to talk about anything.
Why not?
I don't know. Where's the common ground?
You don't think that Congress and Senate are corrupt?
Yeah, I do.
There you go. Common ground. High five. Give me a high five. It had to be audible.
Yeah, I was gonna come back.
What do you want to talk about? Yeah.
What's the deal with all this airline food?
Yeah, what's the deal with the airline food? Have you guys seen? Have either one of you guys ever seen Regular Show?
I'm normal, sorry.
It's actually a regular show. It's like regular. It's like normal. Fuck you. That was funny. That was funny. Shit. All right. Have either one of you? I only have cartoons to talk about. I started watching cartoons.
Oh.
You want to talk about JoJo's Bizarre Adventure?
I've watched exactly one episode, Craig. So.
Which you need to start watching part 2. I don't care if people are gonna fucking hate me. Part 1 sucks. Jonathan's cool. Just watch the fucking finale of part 1 and you'll be fine. Did you guys see Morbius?
No.
Are you gonna see Morbius? Do you guys know about Jared Leto and what he is up to?
No, and I don't know. I
No.
like.
He's like almost 60. Yeah, he's old.
What? I remember something about. Oh, fuck. All right, just tell me. What is Jared Leto up to?
Well, one, he was in our show's favorite movie, American Psycho. He was Paul Allen.
Oh yeah, that's right.
That fucking the raging homosexual with a cocaine addiction who was involved with that whole Yale thing.
Mm-hmm.
I hate that I have so many lines from that movie memorized. Also, Willem Dafoe was completely wasted in that role. They could have picked a homeless man to play that role.
Mm-hmm.
Just a random detective who was...
Just like his role in 12 Minutes and The Northman.
Jared Leto has a cult. He has like a bunch of people living on an island on like a cult that he's in. He runs a cult.
Uh-huh.
And it's like one of those things, for some reason, nobody's talking about it. And it's like to me that's kind of a big deal. It's like what the fuck is Jared Leto doing? Why is he doing that? Why am I the only one
Mm-hmm.
asking the hard hitting questions about Jared Leto?
I need
You
to
know,
know about this. Like, do you know more? Entertain me.
I seen a promotional video and he was dressed like Jesus, and everybody was wearing all white, and it kind of reminded me of Jonestown.
Okay.
Also, he just looks weird. I don't know, something about his body and his face looks non-human. Like if I was to have an AI, like ask an AI, like draw the perfect movie star person, it would draw Jared Leto. But it would be, it's like kind of off-putting and like just how Jared Leto is. It's like you're not quite human,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Yeah.
Also, he preemptively accepted his Oscar for Morbius. That's another
Really?
true fact. Yeah, that's another true Jared Leto fact. And I feel bad because you can tell he really is into being an actor, but he gets shit roles. Like Paul Allen is once again a small ass role in a fucking great movie, right? American Psycho, but anybody could play Paul Allen. Not anybody could play fucking Patrick Bateman. Sorry, Patrick Bateman.
Mm-hmm.
And like when he played the Joker, it's like you were the worst Joker in the last 15 years. And there was I read this whole article about how he like fucking to get into character, he only walked around dressed like the Joker, and he wrote Margot Robbie all these fucking creepy love poems, and he sent her a dead rat. And he like did all this like weird acting shit, and he played a shitty fucking Joker.
Mm-hmm.
Like like the lizard guy showed up and was like, "Hey, you're a lizard guy," and the lizard guy fucking killed it, while Jared Leto fucking sacrificed his soul to the devil and fucking did 10 jumping jacks an hour or whatever he needed to do to get in the role, and it was just like didn't fucking hit. It was a terrible interpretation of the Joker. Very passionate about the Joker.
I can tell.
Well, because it's like, okay, the recent history of the Joker is what the fuck was the first the what was the Baseman? There was it was Patrick Bateman was Batman, and not Christopher Reeves. What was the Joker in The Dark Knight Rises?
Heath Ledger?
Heath Ledger. So you have Heath Ledger's Joker, which was so fucking good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Heath Ledger's Joker was hella fucking good. Then you have Jared fucking Leto's weird Joker, weird like Jared Leto's Joker, not Jared Leto. Heath Ledger's Joker was like, I'm the Joker. I'm gonna redefine who the Joker is in a character, and fucking killed it. And then it was like this weird, I want to say like a gangster interpretation, but like also like rapist energy. Like there was like 9 different things the new Joker was trying to do, and he had all the fucking tattoos. Like you look like if Post Malone got into the makeup. Like you look funny. You look weird. Why are you doing that? And then he's followed up by Joaquin Phoenix in The Joker.
Mm-hmm. Like,
Joaquin Phoenix did a fucking great job.
yeah.
And it's like, not only are you a bad Joker, you are preceded, and then what's the one like after? Before you was a fucking great Joker, after you was a great Joker, and you're just fucking Jared Leto. You're Paul Allen. And Hollywood is Patrick Bateman, and they're gonna fucking kill you forever until you go home.
um, I will give,
Like,
I will give Jared Leto's Joker this. Like, this Joker looks like he was actually, dipped in, a vat of acid.
yeah, he does. He acts like he took too much acid.
I like,
Like, I don't know.
I think the director, I don't know who the director is. I think they wanted to go like, more of a more of a not a comics Joker, but like what he went through, I guess. More
Yeah, and I mean, like, also like the tattoo that says insane. There's like a lot of shit in there though. That's just like,
more so and less so like Walking Phoenix Joker.
yeah, like I feel like they leaned so heavy onto like the criminal Joker part, like, oh, he's the fucking gangster king of fucking Gotham. He's the Joker. Hey, baby. And then they also tried to lean into like the mentally unwell, like crazy person. Both, but they leaned into both so hard that neither one landed at all.
Yeah, I totally get that.
Like Heath Ledger completely leaned into sort of the I don't want to say gangster, but like the criminal Joker, because he's like, oh, it's not about the money, it's about sending a lesson, it's like sending a message, like this
And
whole
he's always
it's
unpredictable. You never know what he's going to do
yeah,
next.
but it's like it's all about his crime. And then hold on a sec, but like yeah, it just um it's just like yeah, the Jared Leto's Joker just got such a fucking. It was a bad Joker, poorly written, and he wasn't a bad actor as it. It's like why the fuck did you take that role, and why did you take it so fucking seriously?
Mm-hmm.
It's like that's part of why I dog on him so hard. Is it's like you fucking took the role of the worst Joker ever as like serious as the grave. But yeah, I'm very passionate about the Joker.
Like I said earlier, I can tell.
I either care completely or not at all about anything.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm either the fucking CEO of esoteric Joker knowledge or I just don't fucking care.
Yeah.
Like I know a lot about the Joker and like Batman shit. I couldn't tell you a single villain from The Flash. Like I've seen a lot of Batman shit. I could tell you nothing about The Flash or Wonder Woman, and I can like tell you like three things about Superman.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of the I'm hyper fixated. Like I either fucking am super into it or not at all.
Well,
All right,
no,
both just
no. I'm not gonna make you do the. All right, guys, Dad's gonna cut it off for today. No, I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna say
Have you ever seen? Hold on. Have you ever seen the show Little Dicky?
no. I've never
Or
even
sorry,
heard of it.
it's called Dave.
I still haven't even heard of it.
Okay, so there's this scene with these two Instagram stars, and it's I think it's supposed to be Logan and Jake Paul, but like not. And
Wink,
they
wink,
both
nudge,
start
nudge.
vlogging.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they both just start saying their intros at the same time, but like it is they're like both just talking and they're not acknowledging the other person. You can't understand it, but it's such a fucking hysterical scene. Like
So
they were like, "Hey guys, what's up? It's fucking me here," but they're like back to back fucking vlogging. It is the best scene in the entire show. The entire show of Dave is worth that one scene. It is so fucking funny.
mm-hmm. Well, okay then.
Eugene is bored to shit, and she saw it with me, and she's laughing like right now, giggling. So do you want to do? We could both like just say our outros at the same time, and like that'd be kind of a funny joke.
Okay,
Or do you
fine.
just want to say a normal outro?
No, no. We ball. We fuck it.
Fuck it, we ball. We fuck.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Three.
All right.
On three. 1, 2, 3. Well, that'll be
Hey
everything
guys,
for
welcome.
today.
Let's leave the
Like I
podcast.
said,
We're
take it
done.
with a
But you gotta
grain of salt
like,
of what we
subscribe,
said. We don't know a whole
follow
lot.
us
We're
on
we're
BitChute,
we're
on
quarter in
Reddit,
our lives,
on
so it's
Discord.
just whatever.
Ring the bell. Hit the subscribe button.
As
We
my
got our
favorite comedian
Patreon
once
in the
said,
bio.
take care of each other out there, and maybe subscribe. I
You're
don't
no
know. It's
one
up to
until
you.
somebody loves you, and
I'm not
that
gonna force you
someone
to.
is me. What?
Good night, I guess. I don't know.
All right. Good night.
Mwah.